The 49ers had the chance to lock up the NFC West and the number 1 seed. They ran into a defensive buzzsaw from Seattle. The Seahawks take this one 13-3. This is 49ers Postgame Live, brought to you by Toyota. Matt Mayoko, Rod Brooks, Carlos Ramirez. The fewest points in over 5 years for the 49ers, just 3 points. Your take, Matt.
Well, watching it, you thought, man, the defense isn't playing very well. Seattle's having their ways with the 49ers defense, but the 49ers defense did its job. 13 points allowed. This is all on the offense. Just, they were swallowed. They were swarmed under by Seattle's defense. Fast, physical, furious. The running game couldn't get going. The passing game couldn't get going. Kyle Shanahan didn't have any answers against Seattle's defense. So this was just a thorough beatdown here in Week 18.
I agree, but I disagree. Yes, the offense completely and totally had its problems, and it was outclassed by the best defense the Niners have seen since the Texans game. And boy, didn't this look like the Texans game. But the Niners defense unfortunately set the tone in a negative way. They gave up 115 yards in the first half. By that point in time, the horse was out of the barn. Yes, they did their typical bend but don't break thing, and that's very impressive. But at times, they broke. How about the third down conversions? The third down and long conversions. A 3rd and 10 to Cooper Kupp to, in essence, ice the game. That backbreaker, that 19-yard run by Kenneth Walker on 3rd and 17. 3rd and 9. You think it's a good play by Renardo Green, but it ends up being a pass interference penalty. Seattle for the season had only converted 39% of their third downs. Tonight, they were 50%. The Niners, on the flip side, to get to your point, Matt, about the offense, they were 2 for 9 on third down. Over the course of the season, the Niners were number 1 in third down conversions, completing a little bit over half.
Now let's go out to Levi Stadium with our 49ers reporter, Jennifer Lee Chan. Jennifer, welcome to the show. What did you see from the 49ers offense? What do you think was the biggest issue tonight, not being able to move the ball against Seattle?
I mean, that's exactly it. They weren't able to move the ball at all. It was trying to get short passes, trying to get the ball to Christian McCaffrey, but they could not run the ball. And on the other side of the ball, there were a ton of missed tackles. Yes, like Matt said, the defense did their job, only allowing 13 points, but it could have been less. There could have been stops. There could have been times where they could have given the ball back to the 49ers offense to get another chance. It just was a beatdown, like you guys said, on both sides of the ball.
We're watching the game, Jennifer. That 3rd and 17 conversion on the ground felt like a backbreaker. How did it feel out in Levi's?
I mean, I got to say that normally the 49ers fans are really, really into it in this game. It seemed like it was not as loud. Yes, of course, they're supportive, but I think it was just time after time the 49ers could not move the ball. There was not a lot for the 49ers faithful to cheer at here at the stadium, so it wasn't as loud as you would expect it to be. They did start to move the ball, and then they gave it away at the end there, and it was just not the 49ers' day today.
Any status update, Jennifer, on D. Winters and his ankle?
No, since we saw him walk into the locker room, we have not seen him yet. Obviously, Tatum Bethune went back into the game, but this linebackers core is very injured. Obviously, without Fred Warner already, maybe D. Winters, maybe Tatum Bethune is nicked up now. They didn't have Curtis Robinson active for this game. They're going to have to take a hard look at this linebackers group going forward into the playoffs.
Jennifer Lee Chan live from Levi Stadium. Jen, thank you so much. We'll see you next week from Wildcard Weekend on the road, wherever the 49ers end up playing. The overreaction is brought to you by Toyota. This is how it looks right now. The Rams still have to play against the Cardinals. If they win that game, they will be the 5th seed, and the Niners go down to 6. If they lose that game, San Francisco will go on the road either to Tampa or Carolina. If Atlanta wins their game, it'll be to Charlotte. If they lose to the Saints, they will take a trip to Florida to face the Buccaneers. And this, Matt, is how the NFC West right now looks, again, without that Rams-Cardinals game from Sunday.
Yeah, expect the 49ers to fall to 3rd. The Rams aren't going to lose to a very bad Arizona Cardinals team. So the 49ers will enter the playoffs as the number 6 seed. They'll have to go to the 3 seed. Right now, that's looking like it'll probably be the Eagles, although the Bears still have a chance, or the Eagles still have a chance to move up to number 2 and swap places with the Chicago Bears. So the road for the 49ers got a whole lot more difficult by not getting the number 1 seed. It means now that they will be required to go on the road for 3 consecutive weeks, more more than likely 3 road wins are required to get back to Levi Stadium for the Super Bowl.
Can we, though, take a 50,000-foot overview of this Niners season?
That's really high.
Well, just to really get a good perspective of it. As we're talking about what happened tonight and what we may see in the future, considering the issues on this team, number one, all of the injuries to key people, the number of injuries, and some structural flaws, the fact that this team won 12 games, was in a fight for the division until basically the middle of the
and the number
quarter.
1 seed.
That's what I'm talking about. And the number 1 seed. And for them to be 4-2 in the division is a massive, massive accomplishment. I know it doesn't make anybody feel better about what we've seen and what may happen here coming up in Wild Card Weekend and beyond. But we shouldn't even be having this conversation if you really think about it.
Well,
sure.
We've talked a lot about the players who aren't out there for the 49ers, and I think that really came into focus in this game with just the inactives for this game right here. Forget about Bosa, Warner, all the other guys the 49ers are missing. The 49ers offense stalled because they could not protect Brock Purdy properly, and they couldn't get open. Well, who were they missing in this game but Trent Williams, the best left tackle in the NFL, and also the 49ers' best wide receiver when it comes to beating man coverage, Ricky Pearsall. So, I mean, not to make excuses, because the guys out there, the 49ers have been winning games with their backups. They were asked, they asked those backups to win another game, and they just, it just felt like it was too much.
They did it last week without Trent and Kittle, so they could have done it this week without Trent and Ricky. I mean, I know every week's different.
No. We can't do that. That Bears defense is nothing like what the Niners
I know.
saw
What I'm saying is,
today.
if we talk about their depth and being able to step up, that should have accounted for today as well. Even though I know it's a different team in Seattle. I understand.
I think it's a couple of things. How excellent Seattle's defense is, the familiarity between the two teams. Just watching the game, and it's not an excuse, Matt. It's the absolute truth. Seattle was like, we don't have to worry about anything behind us. Just watching the game, just not the all 22 if you're a football nerd, but just looking at it from a broadcast view, there were 10 Seahawks in the frame of the picture every single time the Niners snapped the ball. Seattle's already a very good tackling team, especially compared to the Niners, and they were not afraid of being beaten by anything behind them. So they were basically playing with house money just because, again, you had no Ricky Pearsall to stretch the ball down the field.
We talked about one of the turning points, that 3rd and 17 that Seattle was able to convert. But what about the ball that was in Christian McCaffrey's hands at the goal line and resulted in the interception? If the 49ers are able to cash that in and make it a 3-point game with 10 minutes to play, who knows what happens.
Or the Yetur Gross-Matos play he could have had when they fumbled the football, the snap with Darnold.
You're talking about a defensive lineman, and you're talking about Christian McCaffrey.
Right, but he had the ball. If he makes that play, it's first down in what, the 20, 19-yard line?
One of the big problems for the Niners this year, lack of being able to generate turnovers and to cash in on turnovers. So what's been a problem? Missed tackling. What's been a problem? Injuries. What's been a problem? Not getting enough pressure on a quarterback. What's been a problem for this team that surprisingly has gone 12-4? They've been negative in the turnover differential, and we saw it hurt them tonight.
All right, let's compare the quarterbacks tonight on this game on Saturday night. This is the QB comp between Brock Purdy and Sam Darnold. Very similar numbers, the completion percentage, and again, no one's asking Sam to throw the ball downfield, but when he did, Rod, there was number 11 really open all the time.
Yeah, I mean, Jackson Smith-Njigba is an incredible football player, and everybody's going to look at the pass yards, and yes, that's important, but to me, the number that's important for Brock Purdy in an unfortunate manner is the number under pass yards, 4.7 yards per attempt. Why was that the case? Basically, because he could not go downfield, because there was no one to go downfield to with Ricky Pearsall not being there, and the Seattle Seahawks knew it, and also not having enough time to throw. I think Purdy settled in the second half, but in the first half, he was under siege. He was jittery. He looked like he did in the game against the Panthers, and we talked about it against the Panthers and the Titans and the Browns. The way that the Niners played in those games, if they were playing better teams, they would have lost those games. Today they were playing a better team, and they lost the game.
Yeah, I think Sam Darnold did exactly what Seattle needed him to do to win this game. He took care of the football by and large, other than that fumble on the handoff. He took care of the ball. He made the plays on third downs. He He threw the ball in rhythm. And then on the other side, I mean, the 49ers, they needed Brock Purdy to be Superman on this day, and he wasn't able to do that. He wasn't able to get the supporting help from the other guys on offense, offensive line, pass protection as a whole, the receivers, the running backs, everybody. So, yeah, I mean, this was kind of the epitome of a complete 49ers team loss.
What's the middle ground? Because on one side, Matt, you're saying the defense did their job holding them to 13. On the other, which both can be true, you're saying they didn't make the big plays when they needed to make them. So what's the middle ground for the defense right now for the 49ers?
Well, I think to Rod's point, when you look at being able to get off the field, the 49ers defense didn't do that. The four longest drives of this game, as far as time of possession, all belong to Seattle. So, I mean, Seattle outplayed the 49ers in every which way in this game. And, the defense, I guess because the way the offense was playing for the 49ers going into this game and the way, we know the issues that the 49ers have on defense. I mean, if I look at that final score and I just see Seattle scoring 13 points, that's a game the 49ers have to win, regardless of how Seattle is able to score those points.
Let's take a look at how Brock Purdy got hurt in this game, something we'll be keeping an eye on for the next couple of days, because now San Francisco will play next week on the road. Before this play, he got hurt on the hand. He was bleeding from his right thumb, Rod. And this play, he just got destroyed.
Well, because you have a backup left tackle who gets beat and then pressure up the middle, which was a problem all day today. I think Dominic Purdy did not have his best game. There's a meeting at the quarterback, and some bad dudes on the Seattle defensive line, as we talked about in pregame.
How do you judge or rate Brock's game today, Matt?
I mean, it wasn't what the 49ers needed, but I'm not sure he had much of a chance, to be honest with you.
He had no run game, and he had no downfield pass game.
I mean, it just felt like the Seattle defense was just swarming. I mean, they looked like they were playing at a different speed than the 49ers offense. And so I just, it's kind of hard to fault him. Because, I know as a quarterback, he takes on the brunt of the criticism and he takes on most of the praise when things are going well. And things had been going well until they ran into this buzzsaw called the Seattle Seahawks.
If you're already a superior defense, and one crucial element of the game, the downfield passing game, Brock Purdy's yards per attempt average this year, 9.2, is 4.7 today. If you know in your Seattle that's taken away and everything's in front of you and you're already one of the best tackling teams in the league and you have a nasty streak, you get what you got tonight.
Quick break here on the show. This is 49ers Postgame Live, just getting started. When we come back, the head coach of the San Francisco 49ers, Kyle Shanahan, addresses the loss and the road ahead for the 49ers.